Hi, I'm Forrest Griffin.
Brian Caraway.
And Lisa Tate.
What's up, guys? This is Joseph Benavidez, UFC flyweight.
Hi, this is Greg Jackson, and you're listening to It's MMAzing, and that is an amazing pun.
Get it? Like MMA, but amazing? Amazing.
Radio.
Welcome to It's MMAzing Radio. I am your host, Dr. Law. And as a great man once said, your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise, boy, I'm shining now. You can't see me, my time is now. Also joining me this week, second place. Not bad, not bad. Lavender Gooms.
Two out of the last 3 years, I've come in second place by one win.
Oh yeah, folks! If you don't know what we're talking about here, we're talking about our yearly standings and picking fights, and it was a nail biter. But first place is your boy. I came in. Shout out to Derrick Lewis, Black Beast in this hoe, guaranteeing by making sure I won. It came down to the last fight.
But and you know what, Bobby? I'm actually fine with this. This one isn't as heartbreaking as Chris Cyborg, Amanda Nunes, because I thought that one was just in the bag, right? This one, I had to pick Chris Daukus because I knew you guys were going to pick Derrick Lewis. I thought Derrick Lewis was going to win this fight, but I knew I had to be the contrarian going into this and to have any chance to actually win outright.
So here's the thing, buddy. Turns out you didn't have to pick Chris Daukus because you got healthy on that Bilal Muhammad pick. And Mark took Chris. Mark went a clean 0 for 3 this weekend. And what you did, though, while picking Chris Daukus, is you picked a white cop to beat a black man in a cage fight. How dare you in 2021, my friend? How dare you?
Yo, man. Black Lives Matter, all that. But I'm trying to win.
Dude, the tiebreaker would have come up. The tiebreaker would have came up, and I know you wouldn't. You wouldn't have picked by decision if you picked Derrick Lewis, though. We know that too. You might have picked. No, the whole thing would have rested on the tiebreaker because you would have picked Derrick Lewis with some early stoppage, and let me tell you, man, I picked second round, 3 minutes in for Derrick for that fight to end.
If I had picked Derrick Lewis, I probably would have picked the first round.
Yeah, you would have won.
I didn't want to leave it to a tiebreaker.
That's it. Okay. No, you didn't think Bilal Muhammad was really going to win. I mean, we'll talk about that shortly. Shout out to Bilal Muhammad.
I did pick up pretty much all of my picks. Like, fuck it, let's just get wild. Let's see what happens.
I mean, you went 2-1. I went 2-1. Mark went 0-3.
Yeah, but Mark's won this before.
Mark's a 2-time champ. We're in the 2-time champ club.
Mark is Gucci.
Yeah, we got 2 championships over here, me and Mark.
Oh, go fuck yourselves.
Got 2 rings. All right. Stefan got 1 ring. Stefan got the Amanda Nunes beat Cyborg ring. Really, that's it. All rested on that. It's interesting. The first year I won, I know I beat Stefan by 1 win also, and it was by a bad decision. I remember too. I remember thinking I didn't deserve that one.
I will say, now having lost twice the overall championship by 1 win each, yo, man. You think of all of those times where it's why did I make that pick throughout the year? Where you're yo, just one win, all right? If I hadn't gotten wild at let's say that one time and I don't know, picked the Diaz brother when I shouldn't have, or I should have picked my heart, I would have won. God damn it!
By the way, ladies and gentlemen,
I hate all of this.
We're going to talk about the star of the weekend, which wasn't Jake Paul.
Diaz.
It was Nate Diaz going viral, scaring a man into spilling his drink in the air like it was a cartoon, folks. It was like he had 120. He had a Slurpee sized soda. Okay, and I'm not sure if people didn't see this. My words aren't going to do it justice. By the way, there's no Mark. There's no UFC cards coming up. This is the podcast for the next month, folks. It's just going to be us bullshitting. So Nate Diaz left that Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley fight a little early, And as he was leaving, he had words with a young man, with a man.
Now, to give it a bit more, color, it wasn't just some random dude.
No, I was about to say who he was.
Hand.
Yeah, it's Karise Archer, a 2-5 MMA fighter, 2-6 MMA fighter.
So not good.
He's also a bare knuckle fighter. He's a member of the Team Body Shop in Southern California, which is AJ McKee's team. When I guess maybe somebody from their team was who was fighting Chris Avila from Nate's team, and they had a pre-fight conversation. Did Chris win? I think he did, right? Chris Avila won because they were talking like.
Oh, dude, you think I watched this?
Oh yeah, okay. I mean, I'm gonna talk to the part. I mean, I know I watched the part where Jake Shields got his feelings hurt. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later.
I did. Here are the things I saw from the Jake Paul thing. I saw Tyron Woodley get put to sleep. But that only takes about 6 seconds. I saw
Nate Diaz.
I saw that clip on James Shields with the crickets. And then I saw Nate Diaz scare some dude out of about 48 ounces of soda.
Dude, real talk, it looked bigger than 48 ounces. It looked like he was carrying a 2-liter bottle of soda, okay? So Nate, like kind of like, you know, like, if you're gonna act like you're gonna hit somebody, you know, like, what's up? And like, he like went towards him, and this dude didn't just flinch. This dude threw his drink in the air and did like a fucking, like a pratfall almost. Like, it just went flying, okay? And I think this man has taken the wrong approach to this, because he's real unhappy. And he called Nate Diaz a certified female dog, which, I mean, we understand what you're doing there, sir. You're calling him a bitch. Understood?
And he called him a fake gangster as well.
Fake gangster. Look, this was real funny. If I'm him, I would have leaned into it. Like, sell some merch with yourself. Like, do like what Hendo did with the fucking, make it your logo. Make you throwing your drink in the air, the logo for your shorts. Look, nobody knew who the fuck this guy was before, Mike. He could do make it his shoey. When he leaves the fights after he wins or loses, he just throws his drink in the air, like, chaotically.
So what you're saying is that, let's say he works his way up from a 2-6 record to, let's say, a solid 6-6 record, right? You know, four fight win streak. That's not bad. 6-6. Let's say he gets on the prelims for Bellator. So do you think that Mauro Ranallo, is this still Mauro Ranallo doing Bellator?
I don't. He does Showtime, and they have a relationship with Bellator, so yeah, he'll do it. He'll do the big shows at least.
So let's assume it's Mauro Ranallo. So Mauro Ranallo is calling this guy's fight. What's his name? Chris Azizi or some
Karise
shit?
Archer?
Karise Archer. 6-6. Nate Diaz once punked him out of his big gulp. I don't know. That's not what I want to be.
Mamma mia! The Diet Pepsi goes flying. Oh God!
But no joke. Before I sent you guys that video yesterday, I must have watched it a solid.
The best part is
and I watched it a solid 20 times after that.
Dana White posted it on Instagram. Dana White was laughing his ass off at him. That was amazing. Sounds like Nate and Dustin both want to fight, and Dana said, "Oh, it actually sounds like a good idea. We should do that." And I think that's a good idea too. Quite frankly, I would love to see that fight. I think Dustin probably wins. But
Dustin just lost, and you know that fight was supposed to happen.
Dustin doesn't want to fight at 55 anymore. He said. Anyway,
it was too much for him.
Yeah, and you know Nate is fucking. Nate will fight at 170. Nate's 6 foot tall. Nate making 155 is always wild to me. Nate at 155.
Yeah, I don't think Nate wants to fight at 155 either.
Nate wants to. Nate will fight at heavyweight if you give him enough money.
That is also true as well.
I saw a video of Nate punking Brendan Schaub out, and it was like from months ago.
What the hell did he say to Brendan Schaub? Which, you know, bravo to him, because fuck that guy.
Oh, Brendan said something, and then Brendan had to like walk away like he was. It did not look. Brendan Schaub is taking L's just like constantly, like he just constantly. I was gonna say it's not. I'm starting to feel bad for him, but I'm not because it's real funny still. It's like real funny.
Brendan Schaub lost me. I enjoyed Brendan Schaub's shtick, I would say, up until I just realized how much he was just trying to bully Ariel Helwani.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Mike, we're all good. I got nothing. So going forward here, Nate, Dustin seems like the way to go. The rest of the other things that happened on this show, let's talk about it real quickly. Jake Shields took a picture of Ariel Helwani wearing a mask and then said, "Oh, thank you for protecting us all, Ariel. The only person wearing a mask." And then Ariel's like, went up to him and said, "Hey man, they told me to wear a mask for Showtime." Jake, to no one's surprise, is an anti-vaxxer. And then Ariel made fun of it, said the best part of the evening was for him was when they showed Jake Shields on the big screen and there was crickets. Nobody said a fucking word at all. So,
I mean, where that fight was in Vegas, was it?
I mean, Jake has not been. I mean, I'd say, look, putting aside his dumbassery, Jake's an excellent fighter, but Jake hasn't been a relevant MMA fighter probably since 2012.
Yeah, and unless
13 maybe,
unless this fight was going on in Northern California, I mean, why would anyone really care who Jake Shields is?
I mean, he did. I mean, he banned. I mean, technically, Jake Shields sold out the Rogers Center with GSP.
No.
You and me could have sold out the Rogers Center, huh? With GSP.
That's right.
GSP versus these two law students. Let's go. We tried to go to that fight card, and then all the Canadians bought the entire arena worth of tickets on the pre-sale, and we're like, I guess we're not going to Toronto.
Those tickets went very quickly.
We're like, okay, we're resale. Oh, 5 times face. Oh, we're good. We'll stay at home. So in other MMA news, Tyron Woodley took this fight on 2 weeks' notice. Give the man his credit there. That boy can hit, man. Jake Paul can hit. Like, that was a clean shot. That wasn't like Tyron's got a bad chin. Like, he got walloped.
I know nothing about advanced boxing skills by any stretch. So what I am saying now, I'm just stealing from someone else. But someone said it was a pretty advanced technique that Jake Paul did, where he looked towards the body and then just had the overhand right come crashing in. So
yeah, it looked he was Tyron was guarding the body. You could see Tyron was not expecting. He went over Tyron's left shoulder, just face planted him, and Tyron had to be like. And after it was over, all respect, yada yada yada. They both got paid, good for them and stuff. I think he needed that. I think Jake needed that for it to be exciting a little bit, considering the last one kind of sucked. And I guess this one kind of sucked going into it too.
This one was it went 6 rounds. Did you actually watch this fight?
No, I was seeing Spider-Man, and then I got home, and then
that's a better call. But I think it went until the 6th round.
It went all the way to the 6th. It went all the way to the 6th. Okay.
From what I've read, it wasn't like a spectacular fight.
It's pretty ho hum.
So from what I've read, it was pretty ho hum. Up until Tyron Woodley went timber. I was like, damn, who's that dude? Who's that dude I always make fun of from Bellator? Then Emmanuel Newton hit him with the spinning back fist that he just went down
like a big oak tree.
Yes. When Tyron Woodley went down, it reminded me of King Mo's knockout.
Dude, I always worry when the guys go face down like that. Manny Sanders is the wide receiver for the. He was a Niner at one point. I don't know where he is now.
Yes.
Whenever those dudes go face first into the thing, or they spike themselves with their head, it's really when you're out before you go down. Those scare me because you gotta there's an impact.
And what I don't understand are the people that are saying this fight was fixed. No. You see the way Tyron Woodley went down. Nobody is taking.
You know what it is, man? People think everything is fixed. People think everything is fixed. It is what we've brought it up here or there before. Some fights just because we're well, maybe but come on, man. No one wants to get it. Tyron Woodley's a father. He does not need money so badly. He's a UFC champion who made nice money. He's got other side ventures. He's acting here or there. The man doesn't need this money necessarily. Granted, if you're gonna pay Tyron Woodley $500,000 or whatever they did to do this, he'll take it. 2 weeks notice. But apparently he's coming off an acting set too. And people, by the way, are just saying oh, why doesn't Jake Paul fight somebody more his size? Why would he?
Exactly.
That's not the I'm not even blaming the kid. Why would you do anything different than what's going on right here? He's the number 2 draw in boxing right now.
He's selling out arenas. He's headlining Showtime boxing cards. He's basically revised Showtime boxing. Who the hell's watching that before?
Dude.
So
boxing.
Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he just do incremental increases in his competition, or in this case, a lateral?
I think the people who think this is killing boxing don't understand what's happening here. All the MMA fighters are trying to do this. There's plenty of money in boxing right now. These are doing great, these shows. I think Tyron's still going to box Dan Hardy in 4 months was the plan.
Really?
I think that was what he said he was going to do anyway. He was going to box Dan Hardy in 4 months. Look, get paid, buddy.
Yeah.
Everybody got to get paid. Like, I mean, what the UFC's not paying. The UFC's printing money right now. And it's just like they're making so much off ESPN. Their pay-per-view revenue is like, I think it was like 15% of their revenue last year was pay-per-view. It's all the TV rights.
That's amazing. It's only 15%. That's
why. Why would they ante up for anybody?
It had to have been like what? Just 10 years ago. That was probably a primary source of all their revenue.
So close to getting me a goddamn subscription-based WWE Networks types things. I think. Give me a version of ESPN Plus that gives me the UFC pay-per-views for like how much is ESPN Plus right now monthly?
Well, they had a version of the WWE Network. It was called UFC Fight Pass.
No, but it didn't come with the pay-per-views.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'm still thinking, how much is ESPN Plus? We buy the entire year. What is it, like $8 a month?
Yeah, I think it comes out to about $8 a month each.
Look, if they charge people
split between 3 of us,
if they give everybody if they made it like $20 a month, which is high, but it came with the UFC pay-per-view, at least one pay-per-view every month, that would work.
So here's the only issue I have with that is I think that would be great for the UFC. I don't think that would be great for the fighter because I still don't see the fighters getting a real big
the UFC, I've given up on the fighters getting paid, man. It doesn't, whatever. Dude, by the way, I know we like these Paul brothers are generally shitty people. This is not the Suicide Forest brother. This is the other brother, right?
Yeah.
My understanding is the Suicide Forest brother one is not. He's the one who he's aged a little bit in terms of he's grown up on some level, which I don't know if that gets you out of there.
The Suicide Brother one, and his name was Logan Paul. The only real infamous thing he really did was that stupid Suicide Forest thing, and he doesn't even do those.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, whatever. It's the other one had guns, right? Which is the one that went that they got accused of looting a mall during the George Floyd protest? Was that also? Anyway, this is not me saying they're good people. This is me saying read the MMA fighter news out there. Okay? I can't have a moral stance against these people, given how shitty these MMA fighters are as people too. Okay? We're not gonna pass judgment on what Chael Sonnen did, because I'm not sure yet whose ass he whooped, but Chael Sonnen beating up 5 people, getting 5 battery charges, made me laugh a little bit. Okay?
Not for nothing. That's some Jean-Claude Van Damme shit right there.
Yeah, shout out to John Jones saying that
if you whoop up on 5 people, it shouldn't even matter if you started it. You should be able to walk free from that.
Yeah. Shout out, by the way, to John Jones trying to say well, Chael said all this stuff about me. Now he's the one getting arrested. And then John Jones said Chael hit a woman, and I'm like, I don't know if that was made clear anywhere here, but okay. And I'm just like, what are you comparing here, John? Which of you're both shitty people? What's your point here?
There's also, it seems like, all right, obviously we don't know all the facts here, but hypothetically in this case, if Chael did, for example, hit a woman, and if this woman was just one of the 6 people that were attacking him or whatever, that is still very different than the time he hit a pregnant woman with the car and the time I guess we got to say allegedly, because those charges got dropped, when he whooped up on his fiance.
Yes. I like how we're splitting hairs here, but that's what I'm saying, man. We got shit like this going on. We got anti-vaxxer Jake Shields, who is retweeting pictures of women who are holding up signs that say, looking for unvaccinated dick. That's a thing. And look, Jake Shields is a bit of a It's MMAzing favorite, having nothing to do with his fighting style. Much of it coming from the fact that we all saw Jake Shields negotiate a threesome in person in a nightclub in Vegas, okay? He could sue us for this, for saying it, but it was great. What, to make him look good? It's gonna be the best story about Jake Shields ever.
I once saw Jake Shields curling 50s at a Planet Fitness.
Yeah. Jake's got farm boy strength, man. He's from the middle of nowhere part of Northern California.
Well, still apparently pillow hands, though, because he's curling 50s but can't knock nobody out, though.
Hey, man. Jake's here for the grappling. He's here for that American jiu-jitsu, he calls it, which is just, wrestling plus jiu-jitsu.
But again, I recognize that I have little string bean arms. So maybe any feats that any athlete does, I would find amazing. But I was still shocked at the fact that he was curling them shits like nothing.
Uh-huh.
And all I kept thinking was, this man can't bust a grape in a fight. What the hell do people with actual power like curl?
Well, I don't think it's even coming from the thing, though. I mean, what is it? They always say that the punching power, Quentin Rampage Jackson used to say it comes from my ass. Like, which is a joke, but it's really coming from feet up.
The rotation.
The rotation and all that. Yeah.
Quick muscles and all that shit.
Anyway. So, yeah. I don't know what we were talking about there. We were talking about shitty people in this sport. Yeah, this Paul Brothers, man, just keep printing money, kids. Do what you got to do. Get paid. People are paying you to watch this shit. There are far stupider things going on.
If no one's pushing you to fight anyone real and they're still going to give you a whole bunch of money, why would you challenge yourself?
Dude, if you want to fight the Fury brother next, whatever. If you want to fight Masvidal, okay. I'm not sure you beat Nate Diaz, but then again, the kid's getting better. I still don't think he beats Nate Diaz because I don't think he can knock Nate Diaz out. And I think Nate Diaz is still going to be there beating his ass by round 3 when he's exhausted.
Oh, man. Jake, keep fighting tomato cans.
Apparently, they talked to Anderson. Allegedly,
no,
but Anderson's a businessman, and Anderson's like, you're gonna have to give me a larger bag than this. I'm Anderson goddamn Silva. Like
Jake, don't do that to yourself. You need to fight someone not as good as Anderson Silva. Look, for all you kids
Tito.
out there listening, look, here's what you need to do in life. Take the easiest path possible. All right, don't challenge yourself. Do whatever you can to get the most amount of money for the least amount of effort.
The kid looked yoked. Like, the kid was, all abbed up. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Which is funny that, we always thought of Tyron as, like, a big guy at 170. But then you see him next to Jake Paul. It's like, oh, man.
Tyron's 5'10", 5'9", I think, maybe. Yeah. I think this kid's over 6 foot tall. I think he's as big as Nate. I don't think it'd be good for him to fight Nate. I think Nate would whoop his ass, but
I don't know, man. And it's not because
I don't think it's clear.
I don't think that Paul is a better boxer than Nate, but I just think that he's probably going to have a solid 20 to 25 pounds on Nate.
How big do you think Nate really is? I think Nate probably is around 180.
Yeah, exactly. He's around 180. This Jake Paul guy's like around 195.
I thought he came in at 188, 189, didn't he?
Yeah, he came in at 188.
But there was no weight class, was there?
I think there is a weight class because it is still a professional boxing match.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's not like the Paul Mayweather fight that was an exhibition.
We're not talking about enough the fact that Floyd Mayweather couldn't put that fucking the lesser Paul brother away. That's what I feel we need to bring that up periodically. Like, it just needs to be talked about.
Dude, Floyd Mayweather is like 45 years old.
I don't care. Don't care, buddy. Come on, man. You could tell he wanted to at a certain point and he couldn't. And Logan was just getting more and more excited, like, oh my God, I'm not going to lose. Yeah, Tyron got wrecked. But you know what, man? Shit happens. That went as bad as possible, though. A lot of people saw him get knocked out. I was listening to the co-main event podcast earlier, and Chad Dundas said he wondered if there was any other members of the 2004 University of Missouri wrestling team that wanted to get knocked out by a Paul brother next. Which, yeah, man, nice. That made me laugh. I like Tyron quite a bit. That was a disgusting knockout, though. Maybe you and Dan Hardy put it off till like June. Maybe.
Nah, give your head a bit of time.
I mean, I know Dan hasn't fought in 10 years, anything, but Tyron's a smart guy too. Tyron has always been the king of like the smart career move financially. So we'll see. Are they going to put him on with him and Dan Hardy going to be a main event anywhere? What are they going to put that on?
Yeah, it's true.
It's going to be co-main event to the next Paul brother fight.
Do you want to pay for that shit? If that's the main event.
I don't want to watch them do MMA. Actually, Dan Hardy hasn't fought in so long. I'm curious, but I don't know. When they trying to throw money at GSP, who was that? Was that Triller or Showtime? Was trying to throw money at GSP?
Isn't GSP still? He's still contracted.
Yeah, the UFC stopped it. Yeah, he was gonna box De La Hoya, right?
Yeah, he was gonna box De La Hoya's coked up ass.
I think I was getting ready to pick Vitor over De La Hoya. It was gonna be bad.
Yo, no lie, that was still the greatest 15-20 minutes of this year. When I forgot what fight. I think it was the Josh Barnett fight that De La Hoya was on there on. That
it was either Barnett or Frank Mir, one of the two. Frank Mir. It was Frank Mir.
I think it was Frank Mir. Yeah. That I think if they had just done a close up on De La Hoya, it would have looked like the goddamn Alpine cliffs under his nose, man. He had to have had so much.
And the Scarface,
so much snow under his
bloodshot eyes, just screaming. All right, what else happened?
We could talk about the card.
Yeah, Black Beast beat Chris Daukus in a few minutes there in the first round, knocked him out, became the all-time leading knockout. I'm wording this poorly. Most knockouts in UFC history belongs to Derrick Lewis now. Yeah,
I was surprised to hear that. Not so much because Derrick Lewis doesn't win fights by decision. I think the only one he's ever won by decision was the infamous win over the current champion. But I guess I never really realized how long he's been in the UFC and how many motherfuckers he's knocked out.
Yeah, he's 13. I knew one of them was Vitor. Vitor had 12. Matt Brown has 12. Anderson, Rumble, and Thiago Santos 11. We don't talk enough about Thiago Santos because he went crazy and threatened his wife, to be honest. But Thiago Santos was a fucking killer. Do you remember what I'm talking about here? It's the
Thiago Santos. Is that the one that has the big hammer on his chest?
No, it was the one who it is that one. I'm sorry. I was thinking it is Thiago Santos. I was thinking Thiago Silva. Thiago Santos has been in the UFC for a while, so
Thiago Santos is either engaged or his girlfriend is Yana Kunitskaya.
Yeah, I think she gave birth or she's pregnant. Okay, that's Thiago Santos. And then there's 6 fighters tied with 10. So Matt Brown's still active, Derrick Lewis still active, Thiago Santos still active. 13 knockouts, man. That's the most in title fights. Anderson Silva with 7. Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's still. I watched the fight earlier today, and it's always still surprising to see just how agile Derrick Lewis can be for a man that big. Mm. I know he has it in his repertoire because we've seen it so many times in so many fights now, but it's still surprising when he does like a switch kick to the head or like a roundhouse kick, like how he did in the fight on Saturday. And yeah, I mean, it was a domination by Derrick Lewis. He kept attacking Daukus, and after a while,
Did you watch it live, or did you know you were fucked already at that point?
I already knew I was fucked when I watched it the next day.
Yeah. Well, I also definitely taunted you all, but yeah.
He just crumpled. He just crumpled to the multitude of punches that Derrick Lewis.
Derrick Lewis in the first round is a dangerous man. And if you're not going to put Derrick Lewis on the ground, you got to really just you got to do what Gon did and just make sure your technique came out the wazoo. He can't get close to you. Derrick Lewis won this fight, won by knockout, threw his cup into the crowd.
Oh, so gross.
And this is the PI or whatever it's called, Apex.
Apex,
so
yeah.
That person paid a lot of money to catch Derrick Lewis's sweaty cup. Dana White said Derrick Lewis should keep his phone on as backup for the Ngannou versus Gon fight. And Derrick Lewis responded saying, "Fuck you, I'm not fighting any 5-rounders." So I love Derrick Lewis. By the way,
so Derrick Lewis Derrick Lewis was contracted for a 5-rounder this time. What the hell is he talking about? He was in the main event.
He's not going to do it on 1 month's notice. By the way, side note, has anything been more mismanaged than fucking Francis Ngannou's title reign by the UFC? How are they fucking up this superstar?
Right. Now, is this a mess up by the UFC
he asked
or
for
by
money.
Ngannou?
He asked for money, and then they also made an interim title fight as punishment for him not agreeing to a title fight on 6 weeks notice, or was it, or whatever? And he already told them he was going to be on vacation, like he's going to be in Cameroon, back in Africa, for the first time since the pandemic or something.
Okay,
look, no,
I could
UFC.
say how you say it's the UFC's fault.
It's definitely the UFC. It's always the UFC. If you have a problem with everybody, you're the asshole. Okay?
The only time I would say it was definitely the champion was Nico Montana.
Jermaine Durandamy did not make good decisions either.
Oh yeah, she was great.
All right, we need you to fight Cyborg in 4 months. Nah, man, I'm busy. Okay, how about 5 months? Woof. September is real busy, Data. October? Man, Dana, how does your 2023 look? You know? Anyway, yeah. Worth mentioning, though, on this card also, Derrick Lewis, by the way, doing Derrick Lewis things, bouncing back from that loss to Cyril Gahn, which Mike and I were going to bet money on Cyril Gahn, but we got drunk at a wedding and forgot to bet money. I'm sorry, we were going to bet on Derrick Lewis, but we got drunk and couldn't put the bet in on time. Really paid off. Saved ourselves some money there. Bilal Muhammad beat Wonderboy, and it wasn't close.
It was
Wonderboy getting old, buddy.
It was a Molina from bell to bell. I mean, just
that was a big win.
Controlled him on the ground.
I think I know Bilal's good, but has the game passed him finally? Is Wonderboy? I mean, but Wonderboy not doing so great recently. I know these are very good fighters, so I mean, we're not sure.
Lost, 2 of his last 3?
I thought he lost both of the last 2. Did he? Yeah, he lost the last 2 to Gilbert Burns and Bilal Muhammad. Kind of got dominated in both. I don't know. I mean, he's not that young. He's 38 years old. He said he wants to fight as long as possible in the UFC. I don't think he can necessarily fight top five guys necessarily right now.
38 years old. His 2 title fights against Woodley were pretty long ago in the future now. Yeah. Maybe 4 or 5 years ago at this point. And, you know, not everyone at 38 can be at top physical form anymore. And there have been enough fights in the UFC that his karate style might not be as a complex a thing anymore. People have gotten a lot of film on it, and, you know. Yeah, you also,
depends on quickness. When you start losing it a little bit, you start getting caught, you know. Yeah. It starts happening. He's a big guy, man. He's 6 foot tall. I can start seeing, Wonderboy wants to keep fighting, and he says he wants to keep fighting as long as he can because he loves this. Then you take some fun. I mean, I'm kind of writing off his title hopes here, but, like, you know, maybe go to 85, not so much. Like, take some fights at 85 just for, like, if a fun matchup arises, you know? If something interesting is at 85 for you, you think it would be, like, I don't know, who would be fun. That's, like, a big guy, like, a 185, but it'd be, like, I can't even think of who's at 85 right now. That's not, honestly, I think him and Izzy would have been fun, but Izzy's a champion. But, like, someone who strikes, like, also, get, like a good kickboxing match. I don't know, maybe have him fight, what's his name again? What's his name? Darren Till, if Darren Till loses.
I don't know. I think you got to give him lower rank guys at this point.
I think Darren Till's going to be right there if he loses to Uriah Hall, but that's just me. Cub Swanson doing Cub Swanson things. That was awesome. Just all awesome. You put Darren Elkins away in the first round is not easy. Darren Elkins is made of like just granite. You know.
I saw the Instagram post when Cub Swanson won, and I was still hopeful at that point. Like, oh shit, I got a chance.
Mm-hmm. I saw Bilal won, and I'm like, uh-oh. And I'm looking, and I'm like, wait, Derrick Lewis? Okay, Derrick Lewis won. Okay. But also, I was with my girlfriend, and she was, she's like, "Did you win?" And I said, Mike would have definitely shit-talked me if he won. It would have already happened.
Oh, I'm not giving you, you know what? I'll leave that for after the podcast.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. Yeah, you wouldn't have let me sleep, though. If you would have let that go if you won. I would have gotten so many messages.
I'm a man of principle and a gentleman here, Bobby. All right, I would have talked so much shit. No, I can't even bullshit you. Yeah, I mean, granted, I did fall asleep, but if I had woken up at because I did wake up at 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m. on Saturday. If I had woken up at that time and saw I had won, I would have been wide awake and sending a shit ton of messages and making memes.
Yeah. All right. Also, that happened this week. Carla Esparza is officially next for Rose Namajunas. Well, officially, Dana White says so.
It only took about a year and a half.
Yeah. Rose wanted it. Carla wanted it. Dana White's like, oh, I guess so. We should get the number 1 contender title shot.
Go figure.
Not that I think Carla's going to win, but, you know, it wasn't close the first time.
But it wasn't close the first time.
She earned it.
Rose was 21 years old at the time. She was a puppy in this
Rose
game.
is still 25.
No, there's no way Rose is 25 years old.
I have no concept of time anymore, buddy. She could be 45 for all we know.
That Pettis that Pettis Melendez Ultimate Fighter was not just 4 years
Gilbert's
ago.
lost like 9 fights since then.
I mean, shoot, Pettis was champion.
That's true. Anyway, there's nothing going on, really. There's no fight card for the UFC until January 15th. I was looking at the... yes, Mike?
She is 29 years old.
Oh, Jesus. There ain't nothing really going on. There's no UFC fight card for a month. Yeah.
Wait, literally a month? Like
January 15th is the next one.
Yeesh.
It is
a long time from now.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's the thing. Christmas is a Saturday. New Year's Day is a Saturday. And then I don't know why. I'm assuming January 8th is something happening. Next is January 15th. Calvin Kattar versus Giga Chikadze, which sounds fucking awesome. Straight up. That just sounds like a good time. Followed by Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane on pay-per-view. Co-main event being Brandon Moreno versus Davison Figueiredo 3. This is an interesting pay-per-view card. Anyway.
If I may, just one sec. I started going down the Rose Namajunas rabbit hole here on Wikipedia. The first line in her personal life section: Namajunas is a Christian and is an anti-communist.
Someone put that on Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm trying to see if any MMA fighters have been arrested in the last, the last 45 minutes.
Besides Chael going all streets of rage on those guys in Vegas, I don't think so. Do you think if Chael was a character in Streets of Rage, do you think he'd be a Cody or a Hager? Or do we need Mark on this podcast to answer that question?
Wait, what?
Yeah. You don't remember the two characters from Streets of Rage? Cody
I thought you were
Hager.
talking about Cody Rhodes and Jake Hager for a moment. I'm like, what the fuck's he talking? What is he talking about?
Come on, bro. I'm talking about
I know Streets of Rage. What's the question?
Would Chael be more of a Cody or a Hager?
I think he's not as big as Hager, but he's a grappler, so I'm gonna have to go Hager still. Because I don't think he can throw the strikes that Cody does.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. Get him some blonde hair, nice little bushy
get him
mustache.
back on some cycles. Get him on a couple more cycles. Let's get 100% natural. 100% natural. Let's get Chael back on that shit, guys. I think of Paul. I say this again. Jake Paul should fight Tito Ortiz. I'm just gonna say it. That needs to happen. Make it happen, folks.
If Jake Paul really does want people to root for him, that would be a time. That would be a time people would fully be behind a Paul brother.
By the way, do you remember how happy we were when there was going to be Anderson Silva and Tito Ortiz boxing? We're like, wow, this is going to be a slaughter. That is somehow even more of a slaughter than we imagined. Like, this went as bad as possible for Tito. Tito is unconscious.
I have never been so happy to see someone get their ass kicked before.
All right, let's do stuff we like. Are we just we're gonna talk about Spider-Man, folks? That's what's gonna happen here.
Do we want to talk about that this week, or do we want to wait for Mark? I feel like we should wait for Mark.
Are we gonna miss the cultural zeitgeist, the moment in the culturally?
You know what?
This podcast is 38 minutes long right now. We might have to decide.
That's a good point. Let's talk about Spider-Man instead.
Okay, well, first off, before that, in the wrestling moment, I think we should all congratulate Kevin Steen, aka Kevin Owens, on securing the bag. WWE paid this man $2 to $3 million per year to not even hit free agency, to not go to a promotion his buddies run, and it's a 3-year deal. He's only 37 years old, which I know we said Wonder Boy's old at 38. That's MMA. Wrestling, late 30s when shit's going down for you, buddy. So Kevin Owens is going to get paid handsomely. They paid him that much money, Mike. They knew he was gone.
Just to keep him away from AEW.
And you know what?
That's what I like to call competition.
You know what also, buddy? Like, I know he didn't hit free agency, but he immediately, he was talking to his buddies. Like, Matt, Nick, Vince is offering me almost $3 million. And then Matt and Nick went to Tony and said, Tony, do we want Kevin Owens, or Kevin Steen, if you will? Tony's like, fuck yeah, what do you mean? What, of course I do. Do we want him for almost $3 million? And Tony said, tell Kevin I'll talk to him after they cut him in a year and a half. You know they're going to somehow.
I mean, Braun Strowman, obviously AEW wasn't really a thing at the time, but Braun Strowman was getting like, what, $2 million or $2.5 million a year, and then they cut his ass.
I mean, he must have they really fucked him up too. And by the way, I'm just preemptively saying I am confident Sami Zayn re-signed too now. He's on TV far too much to not be getting paid. And I hope Sami secured the bag as well, to be honest. Congratulations to these guys. That's the nice thing about having another option. People gotta get paid.
Yeah,
man.
No, that's very true.
Yeah, and I would say Kevin Owens would be, if you kind of look at him, and when I first saw him, I'm like, I was wondering what I would look like as a wrestler. Like, he comes out in basketball, like athletic shorts and a sleeveless tee, and I'm like, and he's a fat dude, and I'm like, yep, this is me if I got slightly in shape and learned how to wrestle. That's it. That's my dude, Kevin Owens. Yeah, I don't know what else you got before we get into that. The Spider-Man.
I guess a quick personal thing is I really like the person who's selling me their apartment, and I really like them in the aspect that their senility caused my contract stuff to be postponed by about 2 or 3 weeks. And because of that, my interest rate has gone down precipitously in just a 2 or 3 week span. So shout outs to that person, whatever your name is.
Yeah, Mike here is wondering why he didn't buy the 75-inch TV, folks. That's basically what we're at here. Mike should have gotten the 75-inch TV.
I mean, kind of, yeah, man. I mean, I say like a full percentage point in just about a month.
I think you were just getting fucked. Honestly, I think you were getting fucked on that first number. So I think it worked out well for you, buddy. All right. I guess, you know what's sad? Like, Stefan's not on the podcast anymore, and I know Stefan's going to see this movie about 6 times. I already promised him my $5 Fandango coupon. Fandango gave me a coupon, Mike, that expires January 7th. Okay? $5 coupon.
They really want you to go see the Matrix movie then.
Oh, Stefan, I think, told me that is essentially a do you want to see Spider-Man again coupon. And I'm like, it's basically, I'm like, you know what, buddy? You can have the coupon. Just let me know. Yeah, Stefan loved it. I know Mark saw it too. I didn't talk to him about it yet. I saw it. You saw it. Everybody, if you didn't see Spider-Man, we're going to talk pretty openly about parts of it here. It's not going to be a big recap or anything. We don't really do that. We're just going to talk about stuff we like and shit.
However, if you have not seen it, you probably want to stop listening right now.
Exactly. Thank you all for listening. We'll be back next week where, God, it's going to be entertaining because we're going to have nothing to fucking talk about. It's going to be, maybe we'll rank the best, I don't know, fast food hamburgers. You don't know. That could happen.
We haven't done a tournament in a while.
I know. Stefan was saying we should do the best or worst MMA tattoo. It's got a visual component. I mean, I don't think people enjoyed our best entrance theme one that much either. You know what I mean? There's
Frank Trigg tramp stamp, hands down, #1. We don't need to do any more on this.
I don't know, man. That guy, what's his name? Do you see Elkin's fucking tattoo across his chest? And Fat Johnny Cash by Alan Belcher. That's another one. Anyway, thank you all for listening. But those of you who are not going to be around for Spider-Man talk, we'll see y'all next week. All right, Spider-Man, No Way Home. I haven't even looked to see the reviews. I'm assuming they're positive.
Yeah, that would be an understatement. Pretty much any place that's reputable, they say it's either the best Spider-Man movie or the best MCU movie. Obviously, sometimes with a lot of times with this, there's a prisoner of the moment stuff. But I think I texted to you this weekend best MCU movie as well. So maybe I'm a victim to this as well.
I mean, I loved it too, but I'm not. I mean. Maybe. I honestly, I think this movie made you do, is one of those movies where you had to have, it was asking a lot for you to go in with some of these, because like, I mean, Spider-Man.
But at this point, all of them ask of lot.
No, I know, it's one of those.
Outside of like, what, The Eternals this year and Shang-Chi.
Well, here's the thing, buddy. This isn't like Marvel's conditioned you with all those other movies. This is, you saw these other Spider-Man movies that may or may not have been good. And I was thinking about it and I looked it up. Because I'm like, man, Toby looking a little bit older. And I'm like, I
He's
realized,
47.
I'm like, huh?
He's 47.
Well, because I realized, I'm like, man, Spider-Man came out when I was 16. I am 35 years old. So I'm like, yeah, I don't blame him. And then, like, for a brief moment, I thought we'd see Franco. But I'm like, man, he got me too, didn't he? Yeah, that wasn't going to happen. I was reminded how fucking good Willem Dafoe is. And I remember thinking, like, my biggest problem with that first Spider-Man movie when it came out was, like, when they would just cut back and forth between Spider-Man and Green Goblin talking, and they both had masks on, and you didn't fucking see anybody's mouth moving, and it looked like action figures talking. He lost that fucking mask quick in this one. Marvel weren't playing that shit. Spider-Man's not wearing his mask for half of this movie, at least.
And the beautiful thing about the fact that everyone knows Spider-Man is Peter Parker, it's like,
he can act
do I really
now.
need to have my ass? Do I really need to have my mask on?
Yeah, I thought, like, Willem Dafoe was so good in this. Jamie Foxx, they had to give Jamie Foxx something to do. Jamie Foxx was in this, doing great.
All right. First, let's go back to Willem Dafoe. I thought his performance this time around as Green Goblin, he was great in the first Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
It was, in my opinion, heads and shoulders better this time around, which is really saying something. I thought acting-wise, he was the best part in the movie. Jamie Foxx, that was basically a different Electro character in appearance and in...
He was playing Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
He was just playing Jamie Foxx. He was playing Jamie Foxx in the Jamie Foxx show is what it felt like. Like, it's what it was happening in this one. He was just making jokes, it was just... they marveled him. They MCU'd him very much. Because he played like a fucking nerd in the first one. That one evil, right? Mm-hmm. Shout out, though, to Alfred Molina, though. Because people forget, Spider-Man 2 was the best superhero movie out there.
Best superhero movie for about 3 years until The Dark Knight came out.
No, so wait, was that... No, because that was 2000... Dark Knight 2008.
So 4 years now, because I think Spider-Man 2 came out in 2004.
Well, here's the thing. There was a 2-month span where Iron Man was out until Dark Knight came out. I remember walking out of Iron Man with my college roommate, Christian, and I just turned to him and said, and I already knew, I'm like, best superhero movie until Dark Knight comes out. Because Dark Knight, we were sold on based on fucking Heath Ledger in the trailer. Like, that was it. Like, that for me is still the best superhero movie. Obviously, if people watched our bracket episodes. I thought this really, it gave me real nostalgia, these movies.
Yeah.
Specifically, Willem Dafoe and Alfred Molina, obviously. They had Electro. They didn't have...
Just one thing, talking about Willem Dafoe and Alfred Molina, this is some of the best de-aging work I have seen yet in any movie. With Willem Dafoe and Alfred Molina.
Yeah, it was 20 years. That movie was 20 years ago for Willem. Yeah, I did. By the way, I like the line. That's a meme. I'm a bit of a scientist myself. That wasn't. I mean, look, I don't reflect the internet a little bit, but I was like, that was pretty funny. that was good. I thought I would have liked more Cumberbatch. I'm a big Benedict Cumberbatch fan. I like Doctor Strange a lot. I was telling you that, like, the basic thing where, like, these guys would all die if they were sent back, immediately. I was telling you, bro, if I was Spider-Man, this movie's 40 minutes long. Because I would have been like, you want me to push the button for you? Like, but these motherfuckers gotta go.
If you were Spider-Man, it would have been Spider-Man, I'm on my way home. Because you would have tidied this shit up within the first 50 minutes.
Yeah. Like, I mean, look, there was a couple times where I got emotional in the movie. When, again, this is all spoilered out, so at this point, this is on you. When Aunt May died,
I think for me, that was a big one, because I honestly wasn't expecting her to die. Like, it's Aunt May. Aunt May never dies.
She died in Ultimate Spider-Man. That's the comic book. I think she did die in Ultimate Spider-Man, didn't she? I read that book a long time ago. I don't remember the book, not the show. In the show, she's awesome. Yeah. I think the only reason I didn't cry because part of me was like, "This is your fault. You talked his ass into this. Like, this is your fault." The end, though, when he had to say goodbye, it wasn't even to to MJ. It was to his boy. Because that's his boy, man. Like, that is his boy. Ned is good. Ned is so good in these movies. Every one, you know what's nice? Every one of these movies, you have the funny, like, buddy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for Doctor Strange, the funny buddy is fucking Wong. Like, it's an actual hero. Which, shout out to, I was so happy when Wong showed up. I knew he would probably be there, but Wong was wonderful. It was just great to see him.
Nice twist that Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah. It was a technicality.
On a technicality of being blipped for 5 years.
That was, I thought it was just really well done, man. It was real long. I just tell my mom likes all these superhero movies, and I was just, she's like, what do you think? I'm like, I really liked it, but like, you got to remember some stuff. Like, I'm not sure, like when Spider-Man, when Andrew Garfield Spider-Man saved Zendaya. Is it Zendaya or Zendaya?
I think it's Zendaya.
Okay. The Princess of Oakland, by the way. Shout out. Had to support her. Had to go to this movie, support her. Just saying. When he saved her, and he talked about, I mean, they gave people who hadn't seen the movie something when he said, like, I wasn't able to save, Gwen Stacy. But he literally saved her from falling the exact same way.
Like,
more or less.
like that he basically learned from his mistake with Gwen Stacy. Rather than just try to, like, thwip catch her, he's like, no, I actually gotta catch her and then, like, try to do the rescue. Yeah. So it's almost like him having learned from his previous mistake as a hero.
Yeah. I was when he was telling when Tobey Spider-Man, this is why they had to name the Spider-Man in the movie. It's fucking confusing. When Tobey Spider-Man was telling the story of Ben, the robber, like the guy, and part of me was just like, motherfucker, you had to leave out Bonesaw. You could have said, like, after I was wrestling Bonesaw, this guy came and ran past me. It was just really good, man. Overall, it was just, I would see it again, actually. I just, just a long movie, but I would see it again.
I did see it again. I saw it on Saturday, and then I saw it on Sunday again with my brother. And one thing I really enjoyed the second time around is, considering it was still the first weekend, so it was, still, pretty much everyone in that theater hadn't seen it yet. It was knowing when the beats of, like, surprise were going to happen, and, like, they were going to introduce someone, and knowing, all right, people are about to lose their fucking minds right now. And so it was nice experiencing it again twice when, when they showed Matt Murdock, when they showed each of the villains in succession, with Dr. Octopus, Green
fucking
Goblin.
Matt Murdock. I got I'm like, oh shit, Daredevil.
I was the idiot in the theater that in the first time I saw it, that when the cane got hit down, I yelled out, oh shit. Like, as soon as the cane hit down, someone in front of me looked at me annoyed, and then they looked back and they realized why I said that, and the rest of the movie theater just erupted. It was amazing.
Oh, by the way, just real quick, but that back to the point I was making, like, this movie had reference to a Netflix series, Spider-Man Round 1 from 20 years ago, Spider-Man Round 2 from about, like, 10 years ago. Like, the whole MCU, like, it was a lot. I mean, these movies just build on top of each other, and it's impressive. And I'm people who didn't see all these movies see it, what they thought of it, as I'm curious too. Like, and they try to give you, like, hey man, Mysterio let them, ratted him out and stuff. By the way, shout out to Hannibal Buress, fucking stealing his onesie.
Was right.
Mysterio was right. The students did this. No, they didn't. He did it. Mysterio was right. Murderer. You gave us Martin Starr, J.B. Smoove, and Hannibal Buress. We're in the movie for 2 minutes.
2 minutes, yeah.
Maybe a minute and a half. Fucking killed it. I was dying laughing at Hannibal. Like, I was just like, Hannibal, I love you. Hannibal. Like, do you think they just give Hannibal the script and said, Hannibal,
Do what you want, man.
Do it the way you would do it. That's what we're going for.
I don't doubt that. Like in the first Spider-Man movie, when he goes, I don't even know if we should be watching this on account of him being a war criminal. I wonder if that was something that was ad-libbed.
I feel like they have to be like, okay, this one, say whatever you want. Like this is the thing. His line is such a small part, but like you hire Hannibal Buress for that reason. You hand her. I mean, like I guess JB Smoove had more to do in the other movies, and Martin Starr had to do a lot in the last couple movies.
Wait, was JB Smoove in the previous ones?
I think so. Wasn't he the principal in the other ones?
No, wasn't so. The principal was the Asian guy from the first Captain America movie.
You sure?
Maybe.
I thought. Yeah. I don't know. We gotta look and see. I thought JB Smoove was in the other one too, because they wouldn't have just thrown him in there randomly. We don't know who he would be.
I thought the principal from the first movie was supposed to be a descendant of one of the Howling Commandos from Captain America.
I'm looking up JB Smoove's filmography. One second. He was in the second one. I'm not sure he was the principal, but he was in it.
All right.
So I don't know what he's. I mean, I thought he was the principal. Maybe he's something else.
But back to the movie. I'm pretty sure where you watched it, even though all the reports had come out, with the leaks that the other Spider-Men were in the movie. My movie theater was still so ecstatic when Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire came on the scene.
People were excited when Andrew Garfield showed up. I felt people almost got emotional when Tobey showed up.
Yeah.
Because we're like, all of us became teenagers again. Like, immediately, I was just like, oh, shit, I'm 16 years old again. I remember, in my head, part of me... By the way, they really should have played that fucking Hero song. From the first Spider-Man movie?
No,
you know what I'm talking about?
They should have played... No, they should have played the theme song from the second Spider-Man movie. The Vindicated. That one.
Oh God. My friend Eddie.
I like that.
Eddie, God bless him, who drew our logo. Fucking Dashboard Conventional. Eddie would sing this fucking song. Okay? Vindicated. Just angsty as hell.
Selfish.
Dude,
I don't know.
I remember that Hero song from the first one. The music video is just splicing in.
Walking.
Yeah. It was a guy from Saliva. And
Saliva.
It was Nickelback guy and Saliva guy. You don't know Saliva? Song Click Click Boom? That's what happens when you grow up in the suburbs and you grew up in the city. You miss out on Saliva.
I don't care for the heights. You think I've heard of a band called fucking Saliva?
You know the song Click Click Boom?
Maybe.
Okay. Afterwards, folks, Mike's gonna learn about Josie, okay? We're gonna learn about Josie a little bit. But yeah, I was just like, and I know you couldn't put Franco in it, but part of me is like, are we gonna get Franco? Because they're saying he dies. They like, are we gonna get like, are we gonna get Harry or not? Like, I didn't expect we'd get Kirsten Dunst or anything, but like, that was just that really did a lot for me. I know a lot of people didn't like the Garfield ones. You still there, buddy? Your camera froze. Uh-oh. Looks like we've lost Mike for a moment here. See if we can get him to come back. Anyway, as I try to get Mike back, I'll just keep talking while I ramble here, folks. But yeah, I think a lot of people weren't positive about Garfield's movies with Emma Stone, and I think Dennis Leary was in the first one. I think the bad guy was Lizard. I don't honestly. This is why Mike needs to come back here, and I'm struggling here to remember what exactly the bad guy was in the first Spider-Man movie. But they didn't have, so I don't think people had as positive a reputation, a positive opinion of Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. That was not as beloved we only had 2 movies. People really didn't like the second one, it seemed like. The first one people seem to be down with. All right, buddy, he's back. Mike, can you hear me? Hello, Mike. Mike. Okay, this is going well. I'm just gonna keep talking then. It was nice to see though Andrew Garfield get his flowers for this version of Spider-Man. Yeah, I had to just ramble about people not liking Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. Mike, thank you. I appreciate that. You hear me? Nope, can't hear me, huh? This is going well, folks.
All right, now I'm back.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. I was saying that it seemed like people really didn't enjoy the Garfield movies. And I think a lot of that was, I think he kind of had a bad place to start because people really didn't like the third Tobey movie. Was Lizard the bad guy? Lizard was the bad guy from the first Garfield movie, right?
I had completely forgotten that the main
I was
bad
trying to
guy
remember
for the first Amazing Spider-Man movie was the Lizard. But you are hitting on something there that I think one of the reasons why people had such a bigger connection with Tobey Maguire is one, I mean, outside of the X-Men, which had really started the superhero movies can be good again, after the dearth that was Batman and Robin, and Blade was a comic book movie, but people really didn't equate it as a comic book movie like in the late 90s, early aughts. Spider-Man was the true first blockbuster superhero movie since Batman Forever. So people connected, I think, more of a certain age with the Tobey Maguire movies, and all in all, they were better movies. At least the first two. And as you say, that third Spider-Man movie wasn't great, and then they rebooted it within 2 years?
Yeah, that was the thing, man. Also, we had a third Spider-Man within, we had 3 franchise starting Spider-Mans within 12 years, right? About 2014, 2015, I think.
Because I think Spider-Man 3 came out in maybe 2008, perhaps. And Amazing Spider-Man, I think, came out in 2010, 2011. Yeah, so.
No, think about it. Tobey became Spider-Man in 2002. Garfield probably in 2009? It was after Social Network.
It was after Social Network, so I think it was 2010 or 2011.
Yeah. Then fucking, what's his name became Spider-Man in 2014 or 2015. Garfield, what's his name? Tom Holland.
I think Civil War came out in 2016,
you have
maybe?
3 different people playing Spider-Man. And here's the thing, now with the MCU, it's different. I'm not the comic book guy that, Steph is, but I always thought the most popular characters Marvel has are the X-Men and Spider-Man. It's not an accident that those were the first 2 franchises. With DC, I always thought it was Superman and Batman, obviously. Not an accident that those were the 2 franchises too, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not surprising that when Marvel was almost went bankrupt in the mid 90s, when they had to sell off a bunch of their movie rights for a lot of the characters, it's not surprising that the 2 most valuable ones were Spider-Man and the X-Men.
The fact that Marvel built this thing on the back of Iron Man,
yeah, which
is just the alcoholic, rich, they're alcoholic Batman, basically, more or less. We say this a lot. Shout out to fucking Robert Downey Jr. and Jon Favreau. I know everybody. Kevin Feige's awesome, but this whole shit was they set the tone on these. The whole tone of every movie came from that first one. Yeah. You can watch that first movie and the same tone exists all throughout. Fucking 16 years later. So, the movie was awesome. The same guys directed all 3 of these movies, isn't it? Is it all John Watts? John
Watts, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see what the next 3 movies are going to be. If I'm right, I think the president of Sony has already talked about that there is going to be another trilogy of Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland.
Did they pull him out of the MCU with that ending of the movie?
So
no, I mean the storyline wise. Did they make it so?
Yes.
None of them know who he is.
Well, they don't know Peter Parker as Spider-Man. Spider-Man still exists, but no one knows who Peter Parker is.
Yeah, okay, I was asking you about this because and I wasn't me looking for plot holes, but I legitimately was trying to figure out what are the rules here with Peter Parker not existing. Because Happy said he knew Aunt May through Spider-Man still. And then, like, Zendaya had the thing on her eye, and we just kind of fast forward. I'm like, did they just all of a sudden stand there?
They're like, yo, why are we at the Statue of Liberty?
Why is Statue of Liberty,
Yeah.
and why is this dude swinging away? Like, I guess, like, I mean, that part's not as important, but, like, I was trying to figure out where's the, like, how do they think they became friends? Zendaya and how MJ and Ned became friends. You know what I mean? Again,
So,
like, I don't think this is a plot hole. It's just like that's not as important as like how do where do the Avengers stand on this? Like, does this guy just show up to fucking the Sanctum Sanctorum, whip off his mask, and say,
yo,
"It was me"? You know?
So my name is Peter.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that helped you in space.
Because he went to his shitty apartment. That was important. That was very important. For
That
Spider-Man.
is very key Spider-Man.
Yeah, that is
right
key
there.
Spider-Man is getting to the shitty apartment, okay? It's a big part of every Spider-Man game, too. All right? Get to that shitty apartment. So I don't know. I was trying to figure out what the rules were.
I think one of the things movie-wise what this does is, well, I mean, you're not really, I don't think you're going to see people calling Peter for help in New York City, you know, because no one knows who the hell he is.
Mm-hmm.
No one knows who Spider-Man is.
They kind of had to. They really, like, fucked the concept of him, like, you know, like, everybody knowing him is a problem. It's for the type of character he is. You know what I didn't like a little bit? I know that what's his name is basically Alex Jones. They made Alex Jones, J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah. Did you not like that they Alex Jones them?
I think Alex Jones got satisfaction out of this. You know what I mean? I think he got, especially when they did the supplement thing.
Yeah.
And that was the part where I was just like, this is funny for all of us who understand this man is a fucking grifter. But like, if I'm him and I owe how many $1 million to the Sandy Hook families or whatever he owes them, right? He gets some satisfaction of like, I just went up here and ran my mouth and they put me in a fucking Spider-Man movie. They took a legendary character like J. Jonah Jameson. A goddamn Oscar nominee is up there half playing me.
Yeah.
He's J. Jonah Jameson. You know what I mean? That part, a little bit of it was hilarious. You know,
they basically did in a way, like it did have a very big InfoWars feel to that movie set. Was that new set?
Because if you ever watched the cartoon, Ultimate Spider-Man, I don't know if you have. You should, by the way. You personally, Mike.
I think I have. I just can't remember. Is that the one where Peter Parker has a mole?
It's the one that's it's made by the Batman people. The people who made Batman animated series. But it's very 2020, and like he's got a whole crew.
Oh, is
like,
that the one where like Luke Cage goes to school with him?
Yeah, Luke Cage and
Nova goes to school with him.
You watch that show and you wonder where the fuck is Nova and all these things. Nova's awesome. Nova's so good in the video games too. It's really good, and Gambino's in it in the second season when they do Spider-Verse with Miles Morales. He voices Miles Morales, which just for that I thought it's a good series, but. They have J. Jonah Jameson doing the same thing, though. He's on the big Times Square thing, and he's ranting and raving. He's more O'Reilly, I'd say. Mm-hmm. This one was more like...
I mean, both of those are pretty problematic.
I know, but at least, like... I don't know. Maybe it's just like... I guess it doesn't matter. What am I complaining about? It was still great. It was hilarious. By the way, when Aunt May was trying to convince this dude, like, everything was like, no, this was all worth it while she was dying, I'm like...
It really
people probably died in this building. Besides you, like you broke Happy's house.
I agree with you, man. It wasn't worth it. Like that was not Peter's responsibility. Like, yo, send the motherfuckers home.
Yeah.
Like,
also, they didn't ice those dudes. They died. Like he didn't. First of all, Doc Ock killed himself. Do you remember the movie? They didn't bring that up, obviously. Doc took the power. He saved Doc Ock at the end of. They retconned that part. Remember that he took the chip broke. And he brought that fucking energy ball into the Hudson River, where I don't know where they were. Okay. I don't remember. I mean, fucking what's his name killed himself. Green Goblin.
Oh yeah.
Toby
did that sweet flip.
I legitimately don't remember what happened to Lizard. I don't think he died.
All right, so no, all of them didn't die because the Lizard was captured.
Yeah. Sandman sacrificed himself. We haven't talked, by the way, about
Sandman sacrificed himself. Electro actually never found out Peter Parker was Spider-Man, at least in the movie's continuity.
I don't remember the movie that well. Did he die or he went back to normal? They fried him back to normal.
Yeah.
So they kind of changed how these all ended.
But
The only one would have, first of all, the ones who would have died,
magic, baby.
fucking had to go. The one part that was weird was when Green Goblin stabbed Spider-Man. And part of me was just like...
That was funny.
Part of me was like, he just had to get that in.
Like, that was funny that, like, you're thinking, oh my god, they're about to kill Tobey Maguire. And then 2 minutes later, I've been stabbed before.
That was the best line of the movie. I've been stabbed before. Okay, second best line. The first one is, Mysterio is right, murderer. That was the best line of...
One thing I really appreciated from both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, as a man in his mid-30s with back problems as well, where they had that whole part about like Tobey was there trying to stretch out his back, and Andrew's like, "Oh, do you got that middle back thing as well?" Oh yeah, from like all those years of swinging.
I did like the part that they kind of made reference to people not liking Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, where he's just like, "Man, you've been to space, you fought an alien, I just fought a Russian in a rhino costume." Which was that what was coming through? One of the guys looked like it was like when they were like to talk about the monsters coming through. It looked like fucking Rhino there, right?
They with those silhouettes, there was Rhino, there was a Scorpion, there was a Kraven the Hunter as well.
People thought the Kraven was coming and it was going to be in this movie. Was going to be this movie or the last movie?
Yeah, they thought that people originally thought that it was going to be Kraven that was the main character, like the main villain for this movie. Like, oh well, like he's going to be on the run. So who else would you get but Kraven?
Dude, I do like that. Like some of the bad guys. I was talking about this when like the second Spider-Man movie came out, the Mysterio one. Some of these bad guys are like level 1 or 2 in the video games. Like Mysterio is like a level 2 bad guy. Yeah. The first boss you face in any of these Spider-Man games is either fucking Electro.
Mysterio or Electro, yeah.
It's Electro, or what's the other guy who's just same as Electro? The other
the Shocker.
Yeah. Same shit. Okay. It's always in a fucking subway too. When you fight that guy. He's always underground. I don't know. I thought it was
you do gotta appreciate that with the Homecoming movies, the first 2, it was fucking Vulture and as you said, fucking Mysterio. Like I remember when Homecoming was coming out, and you find out the main villain's gonna be Vulture, you're like, how is this gonna be good?
He was so good though.
Yeah. It was very good.
Michael Keaton's such a good actor. Did he die? And he got arrested.
No, he got arrested. He got arrested. He knows. Oh, I guess he doesn't know Peter's Spider-Man anymore.
He did, though.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. He was just going to keep quiet, right?
Yeah, he just kept quiet.
I liked when they talked about he wished what's his name was hoping for a black Spider-Man.
Jamie Foxx's character.
Jamie Foxx. And I was just like, are we just teasing Miles? Are we ever going to get Miles? Because we got Miles teases in the first one, too.
Yeah.
We literally had fucking Uncle Aaron in the first one.
You had Aaron webbed out say, hey, Miles, I'm going to be a little late.
That was, I mean, he's too young. If they're gonna do the same universe, like, he's got to be, unless they're going to do, like, if they're going to be both in the same universe, Spider-Man's too young to have Miles Morales around.
Yeah, because I mean, Peter right now in that continuity in 2023 he's still just 17, right? So if you're I think we're gonna
have an age jump in the next one.
I mean, yeah, but if you're gonna have an age jump, that would mean the rest of the MCU has to have a time jump as well.
What's next? Doctor Strange, right? That was weird, by the way. The second credit scene was just a trailer.
Yeah, I didn't.
I was fine, but I was just like, I kind of was hoping for like a scene.
You're used to certain things with your mid credit and your end credit like scene, all right? And you don't want a trailer, all right? You go to YouTube for a trailer.
Yeah, and look, I knew we were gonna get something with Wanda. I kind of thought, to be honest, given like what happened in WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
I do like connecting these shows more. You kind of know which ones are the shows that mattered. Because like I kind of got when what's it called was over, when Winter Soldier and Falcon was over, I'm like, none of this could have just not happened.
Well, you can't really. I got
more or less like because he became I was gonna
say well he became Captain America, but
he already could have presumed that.
Yeah, you could have presumed that from Endgame when
I mean,
Cap gives him
Loki,
the shield.
relevant shit happened in Loki.
Yeah.
Relevant shit happened in
Although
WandaVision.
here's the thing with Loki. The fucking universe is cracking apart, and that was like 3 movies and like 2 shows ago.
No, it's only been 1 movie since that, or 2 movies since then.
Really?
And one of them, Black Widow, was a prequel.
Wait, when did Loki came out in?
That was the last one.
Loki came out in the spring, right?
Yeah, and there's only been 1 movie since then.
What are you talking about? Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Spider-Man.
When is Eternals sent? Did anybody see Eternals?
I saw Eternals.
Okay.
Yeah, Eternals is set after the time jump.
Okay. Because Shang-Chi is set after the time jump?
Shang-Chi, yeah.
Did they make reference to the blip in that at all? It could have been not.
I don't remember, but at the end you do see Captain Marvel and Hulk with the arm still in a sling. So it is after the blip.
Oh, that's true. Okay. What's it called? Wasn't Black Widow? Black Widow was before.
Black Widow was between Civil War and Infinity War. No, yeah.
I mean, and what's it called right now is after the blip. Hawkeye. Hawkeye seems like right now.
Hawkeye
this week.
So I think
it's for Christmas.
So I think the episodes of Hawkeye are happening right at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming.
They're in New York.
No, of Spider-Man No Way Home, because I'm assuming it's the same Christmas season, the same year.
This is where it gets difficult with the shows and stuff. It gets difficult. By the way, since we're talking about it, fucking Kingpin is in that.
Oh,
awesome!
Yo, I cannot wait for. One.
Are we gonna get full on Daredevil with that dude or not? Like, he's gonna be actually Daredevil?
I mean, the dude caught that brick.
When are we getting the X-Men?
I don't think that's anytime soon, because at the very least,
that's a big undertaking.
When Marvel had their upfront, they didn't have any slots for the X-Men yet, like any release dates.
So Fantastic Four, though, how about that? That's coming.
That's coming up in like a year or 2.
When are we? The next big bad is Doctor Doom, right?
Is he a big enough bad?
That's because the movies made him look like a bitch. Every video game has Doctor Doom as the bad guy.
I don't know. I don't think
they made him look like a bitch in both Fantastic Four movies. Well, I didn't actually. All 3. I don't even remember. Honestly, the third one was so bad. The one with Michael B. Jordan and Kate Mara.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
Bro, they didn't leave a room for the entire movie.
That's a good point.
The best part of the movie for me was Dirty D playing their dad. And that made no reference to anybody who's in Pootie Tang. They're going to say it's the guy from fucking House of Cards. I'm like, it's fucking Dirty D.
Yeah, well, no one remembers people from shitty movies, Bobby.
Pour one out for Dirty D. First of all, put some respect on Pootie Tang's name, okay?
It deserves no respect. We've talked about this before.
Just because you're a loser, Mike. Just because you're a loser. Hey,
no? Loser with a good opinion.
You got anything else we want to talk about? We've been rambling for a while, but I mean, fuck it. Anything else about this movie? I did most of the talking, and then you got lost internet, so I feel bad. So I was rambling a bunch in here, too. If you want to go back and listen to me, I'm not going to cut it out. Me rambling for about 3 minutes while saying, Mike, no? Okay, I'm still talking about Garfield. Mike, you back? All right, I'm talking about Garfield.
I hope you gave us some good material during the time when my internet connection crapped out. But
not really.
I guess the last thing I just want to say is, and this is something I saw in a YouTube video yesterday, was someone who described it as these 3 Spider-Man movies, and I guess all the movies that Tom Holland has been in as Spider-Man, these have all been his origin story to get to the Spider-Man that we all know and love. The one that's down on his luck, his life is kind of shit, and he does the right thing even though it fucking sucks. And I guess I understood that sentiment, and thinking about it, I mean, if there's been one critique about Tom Holland's Spider-Man up until this movie, it's that he's been Iron Man Jr. You know, he's been a Spider-Man that we haven't really seen in the comics before or in any of the movie adaptations before, where this Spider-Man had a nice full life. His life was happy. He had friends. he was doing great in high school. He was just a happy-go-lucky kid who was Spider-Man. That ain't the case anymore. He has given up everything, so that he could save, so that he could save the world. Although technically it was kind of his fault that he had to do all that, but whatever. But we've gotten to the point now where, he's kind of down on his luck, and he's still just trying to do the right thing, which is what you expect from Spider-Man, either in the comics or in traditionally most of the movies.
Yeah. Why do people not like the Garfield one? Why did they didn't like him?
I don't know.
Was he too pretty?
I don't know if it's that people didn't like him. I think it's an extension of the movies weren't very good. I thought Garfield
they were okay.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want okay in a Spider-Man.
Well, we're coming off for shit. The third one was so bad.
But in my opinion, I thought he was a great Spider-Man.
Spider-Man was Spider-Man 3.
Garfield was a very quippy Spider-Man, which I really enjoyed. I think he wasn't a great Peter Parker. He was too cool. He was too cool to be Peter Parker.
I thought Peter Parker always had jokes and shit, though. And he's always.
But no, Spider-Man always had jokes and shit. Peter Parker is not supposed to be cool and like have that type of coiffed hair and like as Peter Parker, I thought he was just too handsome and too cool.
Martin Sheen was a good Uncle Ben.
Yeah, Martin Sheen was funny. Martin Sheen, but
when he told Gwen Stacy, he got pictures of you. They get good actors for these movies, man. I'm just saying, even like the ones that don't out, even like the non-MCU necessarily one, like Martin Sheen and Sally Field were Uncle Ben and Aunt May in those, right?
Yeah.
And then Dennis Leary was Captain Stacy.
Captain Stacy, yeah.
He was good too. Dennis Leary plays copper firefighter, just semi-alcoholic Irish copper firefighter. He's got goddamn nails.
Let's also not forget that Andrew Garfield, he makes a promise to a dying Captain Stacy. Hey, you're gonna leave my daughter all of this, right? Yeah. Next fucking homeroom period. Yo, fuck that shit, yo.
Yeah. You see how she gave me that look. She gave me that look. But it was kind of weird, by the way, when they made Emma Stone, who I realize I think she actually is a blonde naturally, but she's famous for being a brunette or being a redhead at the time. She's not playing Mary Jane. I remember thinking like, this is an interesting choice.
Funny enough, they filmed scenes with Shailene Woodley as MJ for Amazing Spider-Man 2 and cut all of them. Yeah. Go figure.
She's like her husband. She anti-vaxxer too.
I don't know.
She real crunchy, man. She real crunchy.
She's real granola, son.
Yeah, she's real crunchy. Olivia Munn ended up with a fucking alcoholic John Mulaney and might have dodged a bullet still. Dodge a bullet not getting the fucking NFL MVP because he's a nut bar. All right, the podcast is off the rails, folks. Mike and I are going to go back and watch the gif of the guy spilling his 75-ounce soda all over himself.
Actually, I will pull that shit up right now.
Do you think Nate Diaz said boo?
No, I think if it's Nate Diaz, he probably said boo, motherfucker.
Do you know what's interesting? I saw a headline saying Dana White saying he thinks Nick Diaz shouldn't fight anymore, but maybe shouldn't fight anymore. And immediately my reaction was, thank you, Mike. No, do you catch this where Dana White said he thinks maybe Nick shouldn't fight anymore? And I saw the headline, and I was just like, oh man, Dana's probably trying to negotiate money, right? But then I read it, and Dana's like, I don't think Nick likes this. He says, I always tell people the key to happy life is making sure you love the work you're doing.
Yeah.
He says, Nick does this like a person who hates their 9-to-5 who sits in traffic. And I'm like, that's an oddly reasonable thing this man just said about Nick Diaz.
I mean, he's known Nick Diaz for what? Almost 15 years, 20 years at this point. Also, I'm rewatching it again. It is pretty funny how far up that liquid goes when the guy
it looks like an ocean. It looks like a fucking like a skit, or like it's someone's doing a spit take and like a bucket of water goes flying instead. It is the funniest shit. How do you repost something on It's MMA? Mike, put that on the It's MMAzing Instagram for the love of God. Somebody's got to do something here. Put it on the It's MMAzing Instagram. Figure that out.
I got you.
We haven't posted anything there in God knows how long. My God, that's whew. Final thing. I guess I'm supposed to watch Venom. I guess I should watch Venom. I guess.
Yeah.
Did you watch either of them?
Oh, I tried watching the first Venom and I just fell asleep.
I didn't. So allegedly, people in Canada are able to watch Venom on Netflix.
I've heard they're good movies. Like I haven't heard bad things about them.
I think Steph saw the first one. He's like, it's okay. It's fine. But yeah, look, I'm just fucking people. You know how a VPN works. Canadian Netflix.
Yeah, I don't think you need to be.
If you guys want to know what Netflix has different shit, go to unogs, unogs.com. You look for a movie, it tells you which country is showing. You know, the thing there. I guess the second Venom just came out though, like too recently. You can't it's not streaming. You got to rent it.
Yeah, I think it came out
September. Perhaps.
Next week we're probably gonna talk about The Matrix.
Yeah, I got to buy my ticket for that.
Is that you going?
Yeah, bro. Oh wait, yeah, you told me.
We had this conversation where you could just sit at home in your underwear and watch Matrix.
Okay? Yeah, I'm actually gonna do that. Forgot about that.
Is that Thursday or Friday?
I believe it's on the 17th. So no, wait, not the 17th. 17th is like 2 days ago. Yeah. I believe it's on the 24th. So Friday.
It's Christmas Eve?
I think so.
Not even I thought maybe Thursday at least. Thursday's the 23rd. Okay. I like Keanu. I hope other people remember when the second and third Matrix movie came out and broke all of our hearts with how bad it was. It's so bad. So bad. Let's just make John Wick 4 instead. Huh? Is it too late?
Yeah,
John Wick.
We're going to get that as well, you know?
We're going to get that. Oh, fucking Danielson and Hangman went an hour, and that was awesome. That's all I got for you. Yeah. They went a whole ass hour. That was incredible. Okay, anyway. Mike and I are going to talk about wrestling offline. Thank you all for listening to the podcast. We really appreciate it, as always. If you guys enjoy us babbling about nonsense, the next few weeks are for you. We'll try to make it fun. We always do. I know some people tell us they like the ones where we're just, bullshitting, for the most. I think it becomes more natural, quite frankly, more conversational.
I think we did a lot of babbling this episode.
Oh, dude, especially when you disappeared and I was just rambling for 4 minutes there straight. I'm not taking it out. That people need to know. If you want to wait for the MMA content, wait for John Jones to get arrested again and listen to the episode after that, or just, the one before the next UFC card, which will be in 2-3 weeks. I guess it's maybe 3 weeks, because if the card's January 15th, January 10th or whatever, we'll have the episode where we do our previews for that. Maybe it would have been smart for Bellator to put on a card right now. Maybe he won. I don't know. People would have talked about it.
Come on, son.
Why are they avoiding these fucking holidays, man? There's 75 bowl games.
As if I'm watching Bellator.
Dude, there's 75 bowl games. There's a fucking NFL game every other day. Is there a reason they're avoiding the next 3 weeks?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, anyway. Thank you all for listening. I was Dr. Law. That was Lavender Gooms. DJ Mark will be back next week, hopefully. See y'all later next week. Peace out.
See ya.